Grace and peace. This is Dr. Tammy here. I just wanted to talk to you for a moment just about acceptance and hope without forgetting. We're still talking about grief, and I realize this is Christmas Day. And when dealing with grief, it can be kind of traumatic, especially around the holidays, especially on Christmas Day. So I want to talk to you about holding memory while making room for healing. Holding memory while making room for healing. And grief does not announce itself. Grief just shows up when it wants to. Grief does not come with permission. It doesn't need your permission. Grief is one of those things where one day you're fine and everything's going well, and it just seems like grief just comes and just sits down right on your lap in the midst of your fun, in the midst of your excitement. Here comes grief. So grief does not slow down when it gets busy. When things are busy and hectic, grief does not care if you got a million things going on. I have been to the place where I've had a lot of things going on, and when grief showed up, I just had to deal with it. You have to adjust, you have to breathe, just do whatever you have to do just to get through it, to get to a better place. But today is Christmas Day, and I realize there's probably a lot of empty seats and empty chairs, and there are times when you're used to going places with certain people. It could be from a relationship or a loss of a loved one. You're used to going places, you're used to doing things, and sometimes it's year after year, and then all of a sudden this year they're not here. This year you can't do what you normally do because the dynamics and the situation has changed. And I want you to know that I understand that. I understand what that's like, being used to looking forward to something, but when the time comes, everything's all shifted. It's all chaotic. So I want you to hold on to the good memories. And then there are some emotions that rise with that, because it comes without warning. You know, those memories will raise up, and sometimes they make you smile, and then sometimes you get frustrated, you get aggravated, you find yourself upset because it's not the way you planned it. It's not the way that it used to be. And grief does not mean you are broken. That's not what that means. You know, we feel broken, we feel lost, but it's just something that you have to get through. Grief simply means that you love deeply. And when you love something deeply, and if it's no longer there, then it is going to hurt. That's expected. It's expected for that hurt to come when you feel like there is a loss of whatever type or whatever magnitude it is. Even on Christmas time, you're used to spending Christmas with, I would say for parents, like myself, all of my children are grown. So today it was just my husband and I. We just hung out and we had a good time. But I'm used to having my children, but they're grown with their own families and doing their own thing. And you got to be okay with that. You know, you don't always grieve people that are no longer living. You do grieve people that are still alive. And you have to learn how to keep moving, keep progressing, and allowing them to do what they need to do and live the way they need to live. But you don't stop living in the process. So acceptance is not forgetting. It's not forgetting about those good times. It's not forgetting about all the great things that you shared. Acceptance is not approval. I mean, you don't need the approval of other things. You just have to learn how to deal with it and keep moving. Acceptance is not pretending that it does not hurt. It does hurt. You know, you got to be okay with knowing that when it hurts, you just have to feel the hurt and keep going. Acceptance is acknowledging the reality of it. The reality is I'm hurting. I miss them. They're no longer with me. I miss the things that we used to do. I miss the things we used to share, the places we used to go. Acceptance is telling the truth about where you are. Many people don't want to tell the truth about where they are because they think, you know, people are going to talk about them or judge them. But listen, you're the one that's having to get through this. You're the one. So whatever you have to do, you have to be okay with whatever step you need to take to get to that place of acceptance. And acceptance is ending the internal battle, all of that chaotic noise and saying, you know, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. Why did this have to happen? I'm so angry at God. And, you know, there's so many things that comes before we get to the place of acceptance. But I found out that what you resist emotionally will persist internally. If you resist emotionally grabbing those feelings and just sitting in those feelings and just talking, sometimes you're going to have that self-talk and that self-dialogue, and just ask yourself, do I want to stay here in this place? Do I want to stay sad? Do I want to stay depressed? Do I want to just keep crying and crying and crying and not having any joy. Me personally, I didn't want to keep doing that. That's a miserable place, because when you're in that place, it's just you. It's like nothing else matters. Whatever's going on around you that may be awesome and fun, you're not even engaged in any of that, because internally there's a war. So acceptance begins healing because it moves the resistance. Whenever you get rid of the resistance, then you can begin to heal. What acceptance does says is, this happened, this hurt, and I'm still here. You have to be able to acknowledge where you are. You can't say I'm okay and you're not. You can't say I'm fine and you're not, because that's one thing we like to do. Oh, I'm fine, it's okay. And then on the inside, you're just still really, really battling. You're still crying on the inside. People don't see the tears, but when you get home by yourself, when you, late at night, when you find yourself doing something that you normally do with somebody else, then you're sad and you're broken. But you don't have to be broken. You don't have to stay in that place. You don't have to keep arguing with reality. You have to accept, this is what's happening. This is where I am, but I want to move forward. Healing cannot start where honesty does not exist. You have to be honest with yourself. Before you can be honest with anyone else, you have to be honest with yourself. Acceptance is that turning point to being all right, the turning point to being okay. Before acceptance, there's exhaustion. There's these mental replays of all the bad things that happen and all the bad feelings, all the bad emotions, that inner conflict that you feel. Those are the things that are going on for you before you get to the place of acceptance. But once you get to the place of acceptance, it's like your energy just shifts, and then you get clarity. And when you get that clarity, you understand that you have to live. You have to enjoy your life. You have to enjoy your moments, and healing becomes possible when you get to that place of acceptance. Acceptance does not remove the pain. I wish it did, but it does not. Like I said before, it makes the pain a little bit lighter, a little bit easier, but it never removes the pain. It removes the fight against the pain, because sometimes you just got to learn to sit in the pain, and then after a while, the pain will begin to ease up, and then you just begin to move forward. Hope does not require forgetting. You got to have hope. Without hope, you can't move forward. Without hope, you can't shift. Hope is not denial. Hope is not erasing the memories. The memories are good. Hope is not pretending that everything is fine. Hope is learning how to live again. Listen, say this with me. I will live again. I'm not talking about existing, because a lot of us, are existing, but you're not living. You got to be able to live again. You got to be able to smile and mean that smile, not just smile because somebody's watching, or not just smile because that's what expected, that's what is expected of you, but you got to be able to smile, feeling that you are, you're happy, you're joyous. Hope is carrying love forward. That same love that you felt for your loved one, or for that thing that you held dear to your heart. Hope is carrying that love forward, carrying it to the next place, to the next person, to the next thing. Hope is believing that meaning still exists. You got to have meaning. Whatever you do, it has to have meaning. You don't forget because you are healed. You heal and remember differently. You don't forget. You just heal and remember differently. You remember and you're able to talk about it without crying. You remember and you're able to just smile without crying. Hope is not loud. Hope is not rushed. Hope is not forced, but hope is steady. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you moving at a steady, slow pace without digressing, without going back. Hope is patient. You got to have patience. In this grieving process, you got to have patience with yourself, because if you look at other people around you, they may be moving a little bit forward. It could be someone that experienced a traumatic situation where they experienced loss, and maybe it didn't affect them the way that it affects you. But you got to have patience with yourself to understand that this is where I am, but I got to move forward. I have to get out of this rut, this dry, desolate place. Hope keeps you grounded so that you could shift forward. Hope stays present in the process. If you ever lose hope in the middle of your process, most of the time you're going to be doomed. Because without hope, you can't see yourself living a better life, doing better things, shifting to a better place. And I mean mentally. Before you can go to a better place physically, you got to shift mentally. You have to shift emotionally. And you know, when you hold on to those memories are important. Memories are very, very important. I'm not saying forget about it. Forget the memories. The memories are good. The memories, a lot of times, are what really keeps a lot of people going. You can remember and you can cry. You can remember and you can smile. You can remember and you can trust again, all at the same time. Healing does not erase the memory. It often softens the memory that you carried. It often softens it, because a lot of times those memories feel real harsh in the beginning. You know, those memories come and you feel pain. You feel anger because it's not a reality, or it's no longer a reality. But after a while, those memories become softened and they become, dear to your heart, because sometimes that's all you have to hold on to. You don't move forward by forgetting. You move forward by integrating, pulling those memories inside your heart, inside your daily life, inside your daily conversations. Acceptance creates emotional safety. When grief is no longer judged, the body relaxes, the mind gets clear, the heart opens up. Safety is the foundation of healing. In the place of acceptance, you have to feel safe. If you can't get to the place of safety, if you don't get to the place of acceptance, healing cannot happen in survival mode. You can't always stay in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, there's so much stress that comes along with that. There's panic attacks, there's anxiety. All those things come when you're in survival mode. You have to be able to breathe and relax, and sometimes you just got to go with the flow. I can't change it, but this is where I am. I can't do anything about it, but this is where I am. So while I'm here, I'm going to begin to just accept it and move forward. Hope may look like getting up. When there's no hope, you just want to stay in the bed. I know that's where I was. I just wanted to stay in the bed. The curtains pulled. I had the blackout curtains. I wanted the curtains pulled. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to answer my phone. I didn't want to see anybody. And all the while I'm feeling that way, my other children were needing me. My husband was needing me. I'm a pastor, so my members, they needed some advice. They needed some attention. Although they gave me the space, what I'm saying to you is you can't afford to get stuck in that place. You have to make yourself get up. Other people can't do it. They can tell you you need to get up. They can tell you you need to move forward. But until you realize that within your own self, until you tell yourself to get up, you will never be able to get up. I always talk about staying hydrated. Get up, drink some water, reach out to your person. I talked about this on my previous video. You have to have a person, because your inner dialogue is not it most of the time. You have to have that person that has your ear so that they can begin to speak life back into you. They can begin to give you that guidance that you need. Small hope is still hope. You may not be on the mountaintop. Getting out of the bed is better than in the bed. Getting in your car is better than being on the couch. There's small steps. You got to take baby steps, but it's still all progress. Gentle progress still counts. It still counts for something. It still counts for something. But I want to leave this declaration with you, if I may. When you get to that place, I just need you to say, I accept where I am. I allow hope to meet me here, right here in the midst of my dilemma. I allow hope to meet me here. I do not have to forget to heal. Remember that. You don't have to forget to heal. I'm still becoming. You may not be there as of yet, but you're on your way to better. You're on your way to greater. You're on your way to a bigger, better place within you, within your heart, within your mind, within your reality. You are not broken. You are processing. The healing is unfolding within you, and you have to let it unfold. And the only way you can do that is accept where you are and begin to work on you. It requires work. I believe in you, and I know you can do it.
If this message touched you, Grieving Through It by Dr. Tammy Wilson is your next step. It addresses real grief, death, relationships, life loss with faith, emotional wisdom, and practical healing tools. Available now on Amazon. Don't delay your healing.